What are the negative effects of social media? Tons. Parents give their toddlers on up a device to everywhere so they will be quiet and behave when in fact they aren't taught to just behave in public. Short, small clips prevent kids from learning patience and sitting. They believe social media is their reality. More kids are not going outside and playing. Imaginations are being stunted by social media. Kids aren't getting nearly enough imaginative play. Lack of awareness and the false sense of self-importance. Exposure to things that they should not see. Consumption and comparison. It's free to use because you're the cheapest product available. Imagine manipulating people with an algorithm that essentially allows people to manipulate themselves and provide them with the products to consume whatever they manipulate themselves into wanting. And that's just the wasting money bit. The same algorithmic approach can be applied to radicalizing people into ridiculous beliefs. We're the same apes that screwed and killed off Neanderthals, not anything special. Plenty, on young children, the prevalence of bullying is harmful. The creeps online who take advantage of these people. The constant need for some people to compare their lives to just a glimpse of what they see people post about. I would never post my hardships. I know posting the peaks which happen way less is cool. And the fact that people just are less connected. You can simply text someone for hours and not have a face-to-face conversation. Social media. The love-hate relationship of our generation. It's like a black hole that sucks away your time, gives you FOMO, and turns you into a part-time stalker. Not to mention the pressure to post the perfect Insta-worthy life. On the bright side, I've become a scrolling ninja with an expert level in procrastination. People start to think that social media reflects the real world. It doesn't. It reflects the things people think are important enough to talk about. Unfortunately, that typically ends up being gossip. And the communication media that surfaces the gossip for the sake of ad revenue is kind of useless. The algorithm that leads to echo chambers is probably the worst. The constant comparison with everyone worldwide is the next worst. I just saw on the news that increased screen time also seems to be affecting the fine and gross motor skills in children. So that too. Social media not only entertain us, but also gather our sensitive data and personal information. Teach your kid not to share any personal information with any strangers online. It can be harmful as someone can use personal or sensitive information against them. Unrealistic expectations. Fucking up your dopamine system. But the most significant problem is your algorithm. Sending people into echo chambers radicalizes average people, where most radicals would normally be few and far between. Substituting social media engagement with actual in-person socialization leads to unhealthy attitudes. Super short version: people's opinions don't matter nearly as much as social media leads us to believe. That includes our own. It's killing the younger generation's ability to develop meaningful connections, to stay focused on one thing and one thing only, and many other things. They're exposed to a lot of stuff early on compared to 15-20 years ago. The algorithm of social media only wants you to consume things. It will show you too many things that you shouldn't be seeing, and eventually it will start affecting you without you realizing. It feeds PPL the idea to live beyond our means just to please society. People will have an easy access on you to ruin your plans if you post everything on SoCmed. Evil eye exists. For me, it's compulsive checking and overthinking the things I share. I find it hard to change this pattern. If I don't impose myself limits, it consumes me more than it should. A lot of actually social isolation, privacy concern, mental health impact, fake news, addiction, distraction, many more. It weighs more losses than benefits. Everyone gets keyed up. Social media is designed to enrage you slowly so that you stay hooked on it. Much like the news, people slowly turn into ragey fiends. Lack of privacy. A lot of people post their entire lives online, and it might not be a big deal in most cases. But one day it can really turn against you. Anonymity gives courage to losers to say the most offensive, outrageous things on the internet that they'd never have the balls to say in real life. Constant rush to keep up with others. Even most fun activities become a tool and being stripped away the actual motives of itself. Social media's most engaging users are conspiracy nuts. It becomes the prefect echo chamber for a group of them, and their madness creates unrealistic expectations and spreads misinformation like wildfire in a drought-affected forest with high winds. Comparing yourself to unrealistic things on there. Social media isn't bad, but a lot of it will be bad eventually. If someone is sensitive to negative comments, they need to be off or careful with social media, in my opinion. A negative effect is Gen Alpha thinking everything is true because no one wants to burst their bubble. Toxicity. People usually are much more comfortable throwing hate at each other behind a screen. It would be quicker and easier to list the positives of social media, since they are so few, wasting your time, having a distorted perception of reality, and compromising your privacy. Endless consumerism and echo chambers making you feel less and less good about yourself. Kids could be in their home with their family and still getting bullied by others. Too many idiots that think it's okay to cyberbully people for nothing. Total garbage. Terrible place to build your social skills, sadly. Many seemingly do these days. Wasted time is the worst. But it's not a side effect. It's the main thing. The ones who use it to sell and promote all their MLM crap 10 times a day. Everyone's right. No one can be wrong, and it's driving humanity insane. You become less passionate about learning and enjoying outside world, comparing yourself to others in every possible aspect all the time. That's bad feeling when you make friends but you can't see. The negative effects of social media is that everything is fake. It seems to reinforce narcissism and sociopathy. Comparing your life to everyone else's highlight reel. Survey for Savvy.